Hello guys, welcome back to the video. This is round 3 of Super Chess Classic tournament in Romania. So this game was very spectacular. So I think you will love it. You will enjoy it. We have two very strong grandmasters. We have the highest ranked player from Netherlands, Giri, who was really doing well in the Candice tournament, really fighting for that first spot, but unfortunately Sindaro was much better player than him, but he plays wonderful chess, so and is facing the number one French player, Alireza Firouzja. So let's see what happened in this one. Surely a game of players of big caliber. We have Giri opened the game with e4. We have knight jumps to f6 and c4, g6, going for the king's Indian defense, as you can see. So if black plays the king's Indian defense, you know it's going to be a fight. So let's just prepare for what those players will play. So we have bishop to g7 and e4, striking in the center, and now d6, principal move, preventing further expansion, and we have bishop to e2 and castles by Firouzja. We have knight jumps to f3, so this is the orthodox, the classical variation. And now here in this position, if you're black, you can play a lot of moves. You can play a5, you can play knight to a6, knight to c6, knight to d7, even rook to e8. But the most played move is obviously, this is the classical variation to play. This is e5. You need to strike in the center, and the point is, if white captures, you're not playing for anything but a draw. But here the most played move, castles. This is what usually is played, and now in this position I like to continue with knight to c6 to put pressure on the pawn, but this was very interesting. Firouzja played h6, and now we have queen goes to c2, and e takes on d4, taking the pawn in the center. Knight captures on d4, and knight jumps to c6, challenging that d4 knight. We have bishop to e2, e3, defending, and now a very nice move by Firouzja. We have knight to d5. And here the idea is you need to capture with the right pawn, and if you capture, let's say, for example, with the e pawn, black would snatch your knight, and after queen goes to d2, putting pressure on the knight with two pieces, knight would jump to f5 and would harass your bishop. And now you cannot move the bishop to d4 square. You need to move it to f4, and then black would play g5. Further harass the bishop, and the bishop needs to retreat. Where it goes, whatever you play, bishop to e3 or bishop to g4. Let's say, for example, black can capture your powerful bishop and will have a powerful bishop of his own. So the right approach was to play c takes on d5, and now we have knight captures on d4 and queen to d2. Knight captures on e2 and knight captures on e2, and now we have rook goes to e8, putting the rook on a semi-open file, and knight jumps to c3. And here, if you guys are thinking about grabbing this pawn with bishop captures on c3, you don't want to give up your strongest piece in the king's Indian defense, because after the rook captures on e4, after the trades, black would get a pawn and is threatening mate. You need to stop mate only with f6, and you will have a lot of problems defending your king. So in this position, Alireza played h5, and we have bishop to d4, of course, white is trying to exchange black's best piece. We have bishop to f8, declining the trade, and queen goes to f4, and now c5, a very nice move, attacking the bishop and provoking en passant. We have d takes on c3 and b takes on c6, bishop to f6, attacking the queen, and queen goes to a5, a very natural square for the queen, and now rook from f to d1. Rook goes to e6, eyeing that bishop, and knight jumps to e2. The knight will probably come to that d4 square to harass the rook, and we have bishop goes to h6. The idea is to, if white captures the bishop, black would capture white's bishop, and this rook will be nicely placed. We have queen goes to f3, declining the trade, and now a slight mistake, bishop to d7. Here I'm going to show you one quick line what Alireza should play. He should continue the game with queen to c7. And then we would see something like bishop goes back to c3, and now you strike in the center and you play d5. E takes on d5 and c takes on d5. And now if queen captures on d5, you're threatening the rook. As you can see, you just developed the bishop, and the bishop is nicely placed on this long diagonal. And now the idea is your e2 knight is hanging, but you have a very nice move in queen to d4. You're threatening checkmate. And now you play king to h7. The rook is nicely defending mate, and the bishop is nicely defending g7 square. We would see something like knight to f4. And here the trades would happen. Queen captures on f4, and bishop captures. And as you can see by the eval, the position is equal. And now it's also the time. If you're enjoying so far, you can subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and share this video with your friends and family. But if we go back in this position, let's say, for example, if you guys thought about grabbing the knight with the bishop, don't forget about that important g7 square. Let we go back. After a move bishop to d7, we have Giri went back, he attacked the queen. Queen goes back to d8 square, and we have knight jumps to f4, attacking the rook, and rook goes to f6, pinning this knight. But here in this position, was this move a mistake, a blunder, but he just gave up the exchange. And but it says that white is better, but those two bishops are really powerful. As you will see, we have knight jumps to d3, and we have a trade of the queens. Queen captures, pawn captures, and now bishop goes to h3. We have f4 by Giri, and c5. We have b3 and a5, maybe trying to play a4 and to get some counterplay on the queen side. And now we have e5 if captures, knight captures, or pawn captures and knight captures. This is what Giri was thinking. And we have d takes on e5, and now a very nice move, f takes on e5, bishop to g4, and a brilliant move, knight captures on c5, giving back the exchange for a pawn. And for an activity, we have bishop takes on d1, rook captures on d1, and rook to c8, eyeing that knight, and maybe going to c2 square to gobble those pawns. We have knight jumps to b7, eyeing that pawn, as you can see, and rook goes to c2. We have rook d8, this is with check, king needs to move, king to g7, and a4, stopping and blocking the pawn and preventing the pawn to be captured. And now we have h4, another mistake by Firouzja, but here if we go back, he should continue the game with, he missed this move, he should continue the game with bishop to d2. the point is that you need to defend your important a5 pawn. And then we would see something like rook goes to d7, you pin this f7 pawn, and you just go back with the bishop. Everything is fine. I think the bishop is better in this position than a knight, but this is just my preference in an open board. But we have h4, and here Giri missed the opportunity. He played rook goes to d3, and we have, and now he played, Firouzja played bishop to d2, and knight jumps to d6, and bishop goes to b4. We have king goes to g2, getting the king closer. In action, we have king goes to f8, and knight jumps to c4. King goes to e7, and we have knight jumps to e3. Rook to b2, the rook is attacked and threatens the pawn. If the rook moves, we have knight jumps to g4, and king goes to e6. You're eyeing that e5 pawn. We have rook to f3. If Giri says is if you will capture my pawn, I will capture your pawn, but now you can't because my knight is defending it. We have bishop goes to c5, eyeing that f7 square. We have h3 defending the knight. As you can see, this knight is doing a wonderful job. We have bishop goes to e7, and now rook to c3, and bishop goes back to b4, and we have rook goes back to f3 square. We have bishop goes to e7, some repeating, and knight to h6. Now eyeing that weak f7 pawn, we have f5 by Firouzja, e takes on f6, and we have bishop takes on f6, and rook goes to d3. We have bishop to g5, eyeing that knight, and knight goes back to g4 square, bishop to f4, and king goes to f3, attacking the bishop, and bishop goes back to d6. Bishop is doing a wonderful job. As you can see, king goes to e4, and g5. We have king goes to d4. Giri has got a very clear plan of trying to capture the pawn and maybe push the a4 pawn to victory. We have rook goes to b1 and king to c4. We have rook goes to h1, eyeing that h3 pawn. Rook to e3, this is with check. King to f5, and knight jumps to h6 with check. King goes to f4, and we have rook goes to e6. You're eyeing that bishop to e5, and knight jumps to g4, bishop to b2. And we have a very nice move. We have rook to e3, defending everything, so everything is defended. And now in this position, here the position is still a draw. As you can see, Firouzja has got 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and Giri has got 1 minute and 19 seconds, and he should continue the game with rook to d1. And the point is, you cannot escape with the king. We would see something like, if white wants to capture the pawn, you just give a check on d5 square, and if the king goes down, you just repeat moves. You cannot go to c3 square. You need to go up the board, and if you go back to b5, you will give a check, and this is a draw. But in this position here, I think Firouzja really wanted a win, and because he saw an opportunity in these two passed pawns, and he captured on h3, and we have rook captures, and he grabbed a knight. Rook goes to h1. Now the position is still equal, but it's a very complicated endgame. We have bishop goes to a3, and rook goes to g1. This is with check. King goes to f4, and king to d3. We have g4. Those pawns will start marching forward, and king goes to e2, helping in the defense. h3, and king goes to f1. We have bishop to c5, and now even rook to g3. preventing the g pawn to be pushed, and so now the king has got a very nice defense. And now in this position I'm going to show you a one line which will guarantee a draw for Firouzja. You capture the pawn. This is a brilliant move, and the point is if you need to capture, otherwise you're just losing, and now you play h2. And the point is that if you go to g2 square, you just promote and then capture the rook. And the best thing for white to do is to capture the pawn. This is you check. You need to capture with king, and you play king to g2. You need to go after the pawn. You promote to a queen. King captures, and now you play king to f4. And as you can see, you think that black is going to win this game and this much faster, but if you play the right way with the white pieces, this is a draw. You have king to g2, king to e4, we have king goes to f2, king to d4, and we have b4 now. A takes on b4, and we have king goes to e2. We have b3. The king is much closer to that pawn, so it will stop it. We have king goes to d2 and king to c4. a5 now, pushing the pawn, king goes to b5, and even a6. And now b2 and king goes to c2. Both pawns will get captured, and this is a draw. But after this move, rook to g3, Alireza played h2, which is good. And now we have king goes to g2, and now bishop captures on f2. A brilliant move, he found it. But now here, if you're thinking about capturing the bishop, this is a big blunder, because black gets a queen in the game, and now you're losing the game. But in this position, Giri played rook goes to c3, and now we have g3, and now b4. Here, Alireza blundered the game with bishop to e1, unfortunately. Here the position is still a draw. You just promote to the queen, and you need to capture the queen. And the point is that now you play bishop to e1. The difference is, after the best move, rook to c7, you grab a pawn, and this position is a draw. Black king will gobble the pawn soon. Sorry, wrong. Black king will gobble the pawn, and soon you'll have to give up the rook for a bishop, and this would be a draw. But after bishop to e1, we have rook delivers check, king goes to e3, and now we have b5, h1 with queen. Alireza tried something, king captures on h1 and king to f3, but rook to c2 just stops the pawn, and in this position, it was also in this position that Alireza Firouzja resigned the game, because he knows there is nothing more to be done. You cannot stop the pawn, and whatever you play, soon you'll get checkmated. So yeah, this is it. This was round 3 of the tournament. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you haven't already, feel free to, like I said, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button so you don't miss any of my future videos. I really hope you enjoy it, and we will see you soon with the next chess video. You can suggest any of your games. The link is in the description down below. So if you got any chess masterpieces of your own, you can send them to me. And if it delivers chess content for my channel, I'm going to show them on my channel. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a good Sunday. Enjoy.